the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman. You're watching Sooner Women's Gymnastics presented by Bud Light on Sooner Vision from ESPN+. The top-ranked 18-0 Oklahoma Sooners with 79 consecutive home meet wins dating back to 2014. And they'll test that tonight against the West Virginia Mountaineers in Big 12 Conference action. Alongside the former Sooner National Champion Natalie Brown, now Natalie Walker, I'm Chad McKee. Oklahoma, not only have they been number one this season, they've been pretty emphatically number one. Not just the two-time reigning national champs, but they have 4 of the top 5 overall scores in the country this season. So they've been good. How can they get better, and what do they need to get out of this one tonight?
Yeah, well, Chad, the Sooners already have a massive national qualifying score, but there's still a lot of time in between now and the national championships in April. Although Coach Kindler believes the sky is the limit with this team, she wants them to focus on what they can control in the now and their energy to keep the momentum going into tonight's competition.
And we've talked about it multiple times this season. Oklahoma with 4 all-arounders that'll be competing. One of them is our Sooner to watch tonight. That is Faith Torres. And in fact, Faith Torres just last week in the Metroplex Challenge, she tied her career high in the all-around and shared the floor exercise title. And she's still so young, just a sophomore. What's been so good about her this year?
So young. Yeah, Faith is so dynamic on every single event. You know, Coach Kindler says she's automatic, and she's just gaining confidence on all 4 events this season, and you can see it week after week.
For West Virginia, their top all-arounder has been their 5th-year competitor, Abby Pearson, out of New Kensington, Pennsylvania. But head coach Jason Butts says she has more personality this year. It's become more infectious to try to impart that to her teammates this year. How good has she been?
Yeah, Abby Pearson has been great for this team. She competes in the all-around for the Mountaineers. And, yeah, like Chad said, Coach Butts said she's really growing into her own this year with her personality, being able to enjoy more and relax in the gym. And she might debut a new bar routine tonight.
We could see a little bit of newness. KJ Kindler talking this week about a little bit of illness and some minor injuries that the Sooners have been working their way through. Reagan Smith has kind of a beat-up ankle. She's going to be fine, but likely won't go on the floor exercise tonight. So maybe for Oklahoma, Natalie, a few new faces in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, and it's always good to see the depth that a team has because we are getting closer to the postseason, and this will really show what Oklahoma has.
Sooners last week at the Metroplex Challenge had a 198.300, and they beat second-ranked Cal by nearly a full point. 0.9 of a point was Oklahoma's victory. Sooners have had 94 scores of 9-9 or better. That's more than 50% of their routines. It's crazy how good that they have been so far this year. And as you said, some of the depth is going to be on display here tonight. Sooners taking their warm-ups on vault. Audrey Davis will be first up.
Nice Yurchenko 1.5 right there. Just had to take a big step forward.
Audrey Davis going in the all-around where she is 14th in the country.
She's been working really hard to get her legs together on the opening of that vault.
You know, she matched her career high in the all-around last week, along with what we told you about Faith Torres. Miranda Smith is up first for the Mountaineers on the uneven bars.
Nice overshoot to handstand there. Just her dismount now. She'll do a double layout. I just saw some form in the air with her legs and just a small hop on the dismount, but that was a great start for the Mountaineers.
It's a competitor that had to have basically a redo on an ankle surgery from high school that set her back a bit. Sophomore from Hartford, New York. Been a mainstay in a couple of lineups. We look at the Sooner lineup. We've already seen Audrey Davis. Her score was a 9-8. We'll see Faith Torres. Looks like she's about ready to go.
Last week, Faith scored a 9.9 on this event. She's really been dialing in on her landings. Great block off the table. I don't know if she moved. That looked like a stuck landing for Faith Torres. Might have been the best vault I've seen from her. Let's see this replay. Let's see her feet. Great block off the table. Slightly moves her foot, but it doesn't move off the ground.
That's a stick.
I think that's a stick.
That is a stick. And we'll see what the score for Faith Torres is going to be. Miranda Smith just had a 9.75 on bars for the Mountaineers. And Amber Lowe will be up next, freshman from Atlanta. Large freshman class. And Amber Lowe was a late signee, but she's made it into 3 lineups for the Mountaineers this year.
She'll open with a piked Jaeger. A little leg separation on that pat salto to the low bar. Not quite sure if she hit that handstand blindfold, double back, but she got the stick. Great routine for Amber Lowe.
So Miranda Smith, the 9.75 for the Mountaineers. Just got Faith Torres' score, 9.925 on vault just a moment ago for Faith Torres.
Here's that dismount again. Really locked in and nails it into the ground.
So Faith Torres with the 9.925 just a moment ago. That is tied for her career high on vault. Next, Kiera Wells.
She's really been nailing her vaults lately. Let's see what she does. Just the smallest of hops, but she gets such great block off that table and such great distance. Here's another angle. Great block off the table. You can see the distance and the small hop, but Coach Lou Ball is excited for that vault.
Such a great spirit and energy about her. She had a 9.925 on vault earlier this season as Kiera Wells. We'll get her score in a moment. Amber Lowe's score was 9.825, so the Mountaineers have bettered their first score of a 9.75, and it's Brooke Albin's turn.
Opened up with a ginger. Didn't quite get a hold of the bar. She now has 30 seconds to grip back up and get back on the bar.
There's the 13th year head coach Jason Butts over for a word. Look at maybe what went wrong.
Here's that release move right there. You can see her hand just was not on it. Although gymnasts fall like that, they're used to it in practice. So I know a lot of people that have never done the sport think those landings are pretty scary, but she's good to go.
Jason Butts said that Brooke Albin's really grown a lot and allowing herself to learn that it's okay to fail sometimes. It's how you get back up, and she's having to do that right here.
Yeah, it's good to see, and it's great practice just going on into the rest of the season. Doing a solid job finishing up this routine. You never know what score you might have to count. Ends with a beautiful double layout, just a small hop on the dismount, but a good finish for her.
So Brooke Albin able to get back up, and we'll see if that's the one that the Mountaineers don't use. Back to Jordan Bowers, ready to go on vault.
Jordan had a 9.9 last week at the Metroplex Challenge. Let's see what she does here. Beautiful block off the table and a small step on the landing. She's happy with that one.
Well, Kiera Wells had a 9.875. Faith Torres has the high score so far, which is a 9.925. Let's look again.
Great block off the table. I can just see a little soft in her knees, but a small step, great vault.
Jordan Bowers had a 10 on bars earlier this year against Arizona State. We'll see her on bars here shortly. Still awaiting Brooke Albin's score for the Mountaineers and awaiting Jaden McDonald, who will be up next. McDonald, another of those freshmen, battled ankle and shoulder ailments. And Jason Butts said, just got a bunch of young gymnasts who are having to kind of figure it out on the fly. And it's not easy, but sometimes it can be the best way.
Yeah, it's not easy at all. And especially when you have to wait your turn sometimes. When there is a ball in front of you, they have to figure out the start value and everything like that. So she did a good job handling that. Some leg separation in that packed salto, but she nailed that half pirouette. Didn't quite get that last handstand. Here's her dismount, double out. Landed a little bit awkward there with her knees a little straight and had to take a step backwards. But that was a good routine to come after a fall.
Catherine Lavasser's turn on vault for the Sooners. Jordan Bowers had a 9.9 a moment ago. Cat Lavasser ranked 11th nationally on vault for Oklahoma.
She is capable of scoring a 10.0 on this event. So beautiful in the air. Great block off the table. Just the smallest of steps. Another solid ball for Oklahoma.
Vault is the only event where Oklahoma is not number 1 in the country. They're number 2.
See, great block off the table. And great rotation, has to take that small step forward.
Pat Lavasser's had such an excellent season. As KJ Kindler has talked about, she was not happy that she was not a bigger part of things toward the end of last season and has worked very hard to be in the all-around for Oklahoma this year. Pat Lavasser has 4 individual event wins this season for the Sooners. We get over to Emma Wary. Wary, a sophomore from Klingerstown, Pennsylvania.
We'll open with a Maloney to a hack salto. You can see her legs separating. Not sure if the judges can see that from the angle that they're at. Doesn't quite get that handstand on the end, but very unique dismount. Does a toe on to a front half. Here's that dismount again. Again, does not get that handstand there. Has to rush a little bit in that dismount, but lands it and gets another solid routine.
Sooners have 9.9s from Bowers and Lavasser, a 9.925 from Torres. We see the freshman Hannah Shively.
Capable of big scores here. That was a great vault for her and probably the best one that I've seen her do this year in the Lloyd Noble Center.
She started her career with 3 straight scores of 9.9 plus the first 3 weeks, and she was ranked as high as number 4 nationally on this event.
Here's that vault again. Great block off the table. Finds the landing. Excellent vault for her. I know she's happy to get a good one here in the Lloyd Noble Center.
So Shively there. Get Emma Wary's score in just a moment. And the gymnast to watch for West Virginia, Abby Pearson, set to go on the uneven bars.
I wasn't able to watch her warm-ups, but she might be doing a new bar routine tonight. From the looks of how she's starting, I believe she is.
22 career individual event wins for the 5th-year gymnast, Abby Pearson. And Jason Butch said he's never had a harder worker. She's like a machine in the gym. Mountaineers have been able to rebound since Albin had her fall in the number 3 position.
Opens with a Maloney. This is new to her routine. Very interesting. Does not do a straddle cast. Very cool transition to the low bar. So difficult to cast like that, and a new dismount from her, a front pie calf, and you can tell she's ecstatic that she nailed that routine.
So here's Soraya Hawthorne. The Sooners have had their 6 in the lineup, and we'll get a look at Soraya Hawthorne. Good to see her get a chance to transfer from Georgia.
Beautiful vault for Soraya Hawthorne. I think that might be a perfect 10. And in the exhibition, wow.
Exhibition 10? Can you remember seeing that?
No. I bet the Sooners are wishing she was in the lineup this week.
She might be. After that one, Soraya Hawthorne from Memphis, 5th-year competitor. KJ Kindler said she wanted more, and they are honest when it comes to the transfer portal, and that Soraya Hawthorne has fit in because she's bought in, and she may be in the vault lineup in the not-too-distant future after that exhibition. We'll see the score in a moment. Anna Lee is set to exhibition on the uneven bars for the Mountaineers. So Oklahoma with a vault score of 49.475, which I think is it's above their season average, but not a season high for them. So 49.475. This again, the exhibition for Anna Lee.
Line change to a straddle Jaeger. Nails that handstand to a packed salto. Just her dismount now. Always good to see exhibitions for every team. I'm assuming she just needed to do the first part of her routine. She is wearing a knee brace. Not sure if that has anything to do with it.
Yeah, Def, she was injured in the Big 12 championships last year, which West Virginia hosted, just making her way back. So just to be out there and be able to be on the uneven bars, possibly she's a bigger part of things as the season progresses, but just good to have Anna Lee back out there. So Oklahoma leads by 1 4.5 of a point after the opening rotation. Soraya Hawthorne's exhibition, 9.925. You don't agree with that. You're shaking your head, and I'm with you.
I don't. And Coach Lou Ball was not happy about that either. I saw him down there shaking his head. But, you can't control the judges sometimes.
That is not a controllable. Faith Torres has the high score for the Sooners, 9.925 for her to highlight the Sooners on the vault tonight, Natalie.
Yeah, Faith's vault was superb. Just nailed it right in there. Great block off the table. Great form in the air. Barely moved her foot on the landing. A great vault.
Sooners lead after the opening rotation, 1 4.5 of a point. Oklahoma is headed to the uneven bars when we return to the Lloyd Oval Center.
This was not the case. We had maybe 1 to 2 all-arounders. So to have 4 and to have them compete so well is awesome. And like Chad said, it's not what Coach Kindler intends. It's just how the lineups end up.
And she was making a point of this week. There's a lot of eggs in the basket of these gymnasts. That's 16 routines, and she said you have to manage their health and make sure that they have a little bit of load management. Brooke Albin up first for West Virginia on vault.
Opened with a Yurchenko full, really dropped it in there for a stick. Didn't get a great block off the table, but was able to really nail that landing.
Brooke Albin has 3 career event wins on bars, and she took a fall on bars tonight, unfortunately, for the Mountaineers. Danielle Sievers up first for the Sooners.
Danny is just beautiful on this event. And such a great lead off, too. Opens with a Maloney to a packed salto. Done beautifully. I would describe her gymnastics as very floaty, but aerodynamic, and she nailed that landing. Great dismount from her, full twisting double back, and a great start for Oklahoma on the bars.
About as well as you can do at Oklahoma, the top bars team in the country. Danny Sievers up there in the leadoff spot again tonight.
Here's that dismount again, full twisting double back, nails the landing. Was smiling before she even landed.
She knew it. Back to the vault. Sierra Munns up second for the Mountaineers.
Had a 9.8 last week. She's capable of doing a Yurchenko 1.5, but does a Yurchenko full today. Just a little leg twisting in the air and a small hop on the landing, but a good vault.
She is from Sicklerville, New Jersey, but transferred to West Virginia from Texas Woman's University. And Jason Butts said she is a firecracker. They've only had her in Morgantown for 6 months, but she has fit in great to the program. Danielle Sievers scored 9.9 to start things for Oklahoma. What do you think of that total on the uneven bars?
I think that's a pretty fair score to start off. I do.
Here's Lavasser.
Pat is another beautiful bar worker. Has such great lines. Opens with a huge Tkachev, gluing her legs together on every handstand. So far, this is a gorgeous routine. Nailed that last handstand. Just her dismount, blindfold to a double back. Gets the stick, holds it. Great routine.
Kat Levasseur, what a solid night she has had already. 2 rotations in. She had a 9-9 on vault in rotation number 1. And here's Kiana Lewis set to go for West Virginia. The senior from Hampton, Virginia, has 6 career wins on the vault and shared the vault title last week, in fact.
Yeah, she's huge for the Mountaineers on this event. Great block off the table and great distance, too. And you can see her flat-bodied position in the air. Just the slightest of hops on the landing, but a great vault for Kiana Lewis.
Well, Brooke Albin has a 9.75 and Sierra Munns has a 9.8. And Kiana Lewis's score upcoming. Seaver's a 9.9, Levasseur 9.925 for Oklahoma. And Faith Torres is up next.
Faith has grown so much on this event. Opens up with a huge ray. So high over the bar. Not quite sure if she got that handstand. It's hard to tell from this angle. A little rushed over the bar right there. Nails that last one, though. Just her dismount now, double layout, and gets the stick. That's 3 stuck dismounts in a row for Oklahoma.
Wow. And KJ Kindler talking this week about Faith Torres and how hard she has worked on bars and the vault to become an all-arounder for this team.
Here's that huge release. And that dismount again. So quick to salute, but holds it there. Got the stick.
Sooners are building something here. A 9.9 and 9.925. We'll get Torres' score in a moment. Here's Abby Pearson for West Virginia.
Does another huge vault for the Mountaineers. Gets the stick and gets a really good flare out, too, at the end of that vault.
Look again here at Abby Pearson.
Here's another angle. Great block off the table. A little pike down on that landing, but holds on to the stick.
West Virginia's top all-arounder, Abby Pearson. Back to the Sooners quickly. Just got Faith Torres a 9.925, and now it's Reagan Smith.
She opens with a huge ray as well, right into a packed salto. Nailed that handstand. This is another event that she has just grown on so much as well. Dismount, tiniest of hops, but a great routine for Reagan Smith.
She is ranked 8th nationally on the uneven bars. She had a 10 last week on the beam, where the Sooners will go next. And that was a solid one, if not spectacular. Oklahoma looking like the #1 uneven bars team in the country, as they are. Emma Wary now for the Mountaineers. Abby Pearson just scored 9.825, which is the Mountaineers' high score so far.
Just a sophomore. Front handspring pike half that starts from a 10.0 was a little bit crooked. Not sure what the judges will take off on that landing.
Emma Wary suffered a concussion earlier in a meet this season, so getting her back in the lineup kind of dinged up her shoulder in that as well. They're happy to have her back as part of the vault lineup. So Oklahoma with 3 9.925s on bars. Levasseur, Torres, and Smith. And now it'll be Audrey Davis, ranked #3 nationally with that bars average that you see right there. 2022 NCAA runner-up on the uneven bars.
There's not much more that I could say about Audrey, but her bars are just stunning. As Coach Kindler says, she is the best bar worker in the country. Last week, she scored a 9.975. near perfect. Just her dismount now. She's been working really hard to land straight. And there she does. She gets the stick.
That work has paid off. Find any fault in that?
It's hard for me to tell from the angles of the camera if she nailed every single handstand, but from the looks of Sooner Nation, it seems as she did. Great dismount. You see she lands very vertically
as
to the mats.
The Sooner crowd chants 10, 10, 10. Here's Ellen Collins.
And I think she might have done it. Oh.
So Ellen Collins finishing up the rotation for the Mountaineers on vault. High score, as we said, is a 9.825 from Abby Pearson so far.
I was trying to look at the scores down there, but it doesn't seem as though they gave her a 10.0.
Still don't see it. The official score. And 9.95 for Audrey Davis, which is now the high score on the uneven bars. And the final Sooner in the regular rotation will be Jordan Bowers. And she is ranked #1 nationally on the uneven bars, including a perfect 10 against Arizona State, her second on bars in her career.
Yeah, and she was near perfection last week as well. She opens with a beautiful piked Jaeger. Nailed that handstand. Great packed salto. Nails that last handstand, just her dismount now. Full twisting double back and gets the stick. That's 5 out of 6 dismounts for Oklahoma on bars. And a solid bar set for them as well.
Well, we'll have to see it. Oklahoma's high score on bars this year, 49.825. This is going to be close to that.
Here's that dismount again. Full twisting double back. Gets the stick.
Fans chanting 10. We will see. We're going to have an exhibition from Malin Sullivan here in just a moment. But Oklahoma rolling through the bars and way out in front on the night. Here's Malin Sullivan, an athlete that's been injured through much of her career. And as KJ Kindler has said to us, she's basically a freshman.
Yeah, and she's added so much to the depth of this team and really stepped up in ways that the Sooners have needed her to.
Jordan Bowers, by the way, 9.975 is her score from a moment ago.
Malin opened with a Maloney straight to a packed salto, nailed that half pirouette to handstand. And getting that last handstand as well, just her dismount now. Full twisting double back, almost gets the stick, but the smallest step forward. But a great exhibition for her.
So there's Malin Sullivan, the exhibition. The Sooners have increased their lead with an excellent rotation once again.
There's that dismount again. Almost holds on for the stick, but the smallest of steps. Still a great routine.
Blue ball talking it over there with Malin Sullivan. 2 rotations in, halfway through the night. We have a very special guest. The great Maggie Nichols is going to join us. She is here signing copies of her book, Unstoppable, for fans at the Lloyd Noble Center. And she's going to join us for a bit during the next rotation. We'll get to talk about her and her amazing journey and story and bravery in telling her story. Jordan Bowers for the Sooners. And another excellent rotation for the top uneven bars team in the country, Natalie.
Yeah, here's that routine again. Huge Jaeger. Nailed every handstand. And fantastic dismount as well.
A 9.975. There's your individual. And you're watching all the meets, critiquing Natalie's work, perhaps, as we're doing the meets. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I watch every single meet, whether that's on TV or I'm in person. I love supporting them and watching as much as I can.
So as you're away from the team and you've been on this incredible journey writing the book, and how important was it for you to get back to the Lloyd Noble Center with these fans to get the book out there and sign autographs and just get in touch with them?
Yeah, it was super important for me to come back to Oklahoma, especially in the LNC, because Oklahoma seriously changed my life. I had the best career here, and the people here truly changed my life. So it was super important for me to get back here and interact with Sooner Nation, and it was just so special. I'm
sure that there were all sorts of difficulties as you went through the process of writing and reflecting upon just what was an incredible journey, but very difficult. What was the process like for you?
Yeah, it was a long process. It took about 2.5 years. And yes, parts of it were challenging, but I really just wanted to share my story because I felt like a lot of people could relate to it. I had a lot of highs, but also had a lot of lows. So I just hope people are inspired by it and learn a lot from it.
Without question, such an inspiration. And have there been people reach out and stories, people reaching out and telling their stories to you and wanting to share and open up themselves?
Yes, I've gotten great feedback and a lot of people reaching out, which is great.
We're going to take you through the beam lineup here for the Sooners. Let Maggie watch and kind of comment along with Natalie. Up first for the Sooners is Audrey Davis, such an elegant gymnast on the beam.
She is so beautiful to watch.
She is. And Audrey will start off with a back handspring layout. She had a 9.925 as a leadoff last week. Beautiful back handspring layout.
She is so solid. She's the perfect leadoff.
She really is. She leads off on 3 out of 4 events, which is incredible. And scores so high on them too, which is not very typical. Beautiful split ring. Just her dismount now.
That was so solid. So great.
Really big dismount right there. Round out the double full. That was a stunning opening routine, Chad.
I think it's only fitting we see a 10 with Maggie on the air. She has 7 10s on the beam in her career as a Sooner.
Yes, I would love to see a 10.
You see any fault in that one there?
That was great. I didn't see too much wrong there.
You never know what the judges will do for a leadoff routine, no matter how perfect it is.
And is that part of the challenge this year for Audrey Davis, going in the leadoff position? Sometimes you just don't get rated as high, and she's taken that on to be leadoff in 3 different events.
Yeah, it is challenging to score high in the leadoff position, but she's capable of doing so.
Here's Kiana Lewis on the floor exercise first up for West Virginia.
Kiana opens up with a Rudy layout step out. She had a 9.85 last week.
That was beautiful.
Beautiful pass. I agree, Maggie. Almost stepped out of bounds right there, but not sure if she did. Didn't see a flag go up. Great leaps right there.
Loving the dance. So fun.
Kiana does a 2-pass floor team, so she just has 1 pass left. She'll end with a double tuck. Nailed it there, even threw her head back.
So good.
College salute for sure, and a great leadoff routine for the Mountaineers.
Kiana Lewis, the senior from Hampton, Virginia, has 10 career individual event titles, 3 of them on floor exercise. We just saw Audrey Davis has scored 9.925 for the Sooners. What do you think of that one, Maggie? 9.925.
So impressive. She definitely deserved that score. So beautiful.
So here's Kira Wells.
Kira had a 9.85 last week. Excuse me, she didn't compete last week. Does a very unique side aerial switch foot. Very difficult to land, but she executes it so well. Nice.
Beautiful
Switch leap to a switch leap or switch jump. She has such great difficulty in this routine. Solid series, just a slight bobble. Just her dismount now.
Wow.
Great round off, 1.5 to a stuck landing. That was a fantastic routine to keep this momentum going on the balance beam for the Sooners.
9.925 from Audrey Davis. High score for Kiera Wells in her career is a 9.95. We see the Mountaineers line up on 4 exercise. Brooke Albin will be up next. Maggie, you're on this book tour. Where all places in the state, in the country, will this tour take you eventually?
All over. So I've been to New York, I've been to Minnesota, Texas. So it's been really fun so far. And then obviously Oklahoma, but hopefully I can go to a few different states and do a couple more.
Unstoppable is the book. Brooke Albin's turn on 4 exercise for the Mountaineers. Lewis had a 9.825, Natalie.
Yeah, Brooke started with a double pike, got really huge in the air, and a great landing. She scored a 9.825 last week. So fun sitting next to my former teammate,
I know, I'm
Maggie.
loving it.
I want to ask Maggie some questions as well.
Fire away.
Yeah.
That's why she's here, Natalie.
Exactly. This is pretty cool. Been wanting this to happen for a while now.
We have.
What's your favorite memory from OU?
Oh gosh,
No pressure.
I have so many. I would have to say probably the 2 team championships. Those just mean so much and are so special. You work so hard the whole season with your team, go through the highs and the lows, and to come out on top at the end truly is so special and a dream come true.
And then just watching this team so far this season, what do you think about them? What do you think about this 2024 Sooner team?
They're absolutely incredible. I am amazed every single year. They continue to be so dominant, consistent, and I'm just such a proud alumni, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the season holds.
Last question. Do you ever think broadcasting is in your future?
Possibly. I'm really enjoying this.
Now may be the future.
Yes. We'll have to see.
Jordan Bowers up next.
She is so fun to watch.
She is, and she's just so confident on this event. Really has grown so much in her years on this team. Scored a 9.85 last week. She's aiming for perfection on this event to score her first Gym Slam, to be up there with you, Maggie.
She could totally do it. She is so captivating to watch. So beautiful. Great series. So solid.
I feel like we have twin telepathy.
You do. Always.
Beautiful split leap to a
Wow.
switch half.
I love her dance. It's so unique.
It is. And she really just stares right into your soul. Sometimes even the camera. Just her dismount now. Let's see if she can get the stick. Pretty perfect routine so far.
Wow.
And she does.
That
Wow.
was amazing.
A
Let's see
great
what the judges
routine.
do with that.
Yeah, let's see what they do. I
was
don't
so
know.
good.
The judges have been pretty picky tonight, but
That was pretty perfect.
you see the parents shouting 10. Let's see what the
Love it.
judges give her.
Got to be a 10. Has to.
Agreed.
Hugs all around for Jordan Bowers. Ellen Collins ready to go for West Virginia. What's the secret to the beam, or is there a secret? Maggie, you
Just
as good as anybody's ever done it.
Yeah.
Just confidence.
Just be confident in your training. I mean, you put in the numbers, and the coaches train you so well. So just go out there and show everybody what you've been working so hard for.
Yeah, Maggie was a competitor that made it look so easy on the beam.
Thank you.
Even when she was off the slightest, she always found a way to make it anyways.
Yep.
Opens up with a Rudy layout. Doesn't quite get the block off the floor that she needed to get around quick, but was able to save it. Ellen was a walk-on, but she earned a scholarship, which is huge and such a great accomplishment.
That is. That's so exciting. Good for her.
She is bound for medical school as well in her future.
That is so impressive.
Ends with a double tuck. A little under-rotated, had to take a step forward. Great showing for her. Just a little bit of deduction in both passes, but a good routine for the Mountaineers.
Mountaineers have a 9.825 from Lewis, a 9.775 from Albin. Jordan Bowers scores a 9.95 for the Sooners a moment ago on beam. Too low. Should have been higher, shouldn't it?
Yeah, but 995 is great too.
Faith Torres now.
It's so hard for people and fans to understand just the momentum of scores, particularly in gymnastics. And it really doesn't make sense, but that judges can't score a 10 for the leadoff routine or the third routine. They want the momentum from each gymnast to build and build and build so that that last spot can get a 10, where there should be 10s all around. That's my opinion. What do you think, Maggie?
Agreed. Yes. Now Faith is up. She is so solid, so confident on this event. She is deserving of a 10 as well. And so let's see if she can finish strong, and let's see what the judges do with it.
For sure. I've been saying it all season, but she is lights out on this event.
That was
nailed
amazing.
That dismount.
So solid.
Wow.
Good for her.
The Sooners are nailing these routines. Here is that series side aerial layout.
Unreal.
She's so automatic, as Coach Kindler says.
Maggie, Faith Torres has been a star from day one when she arrived. Highly recruited, very, very good junior Olympian and a very good junior gymnast. And Natalie, you know this as well. But what was it like for you coming in, first time on this stage, highly recruited, and the expectations coming to Oklahoma?
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking. It's a different kind of nerve, but it's super exciting to compete for a university and help the team win each and every competition. And I think Faith is really doing so well. She's consistent at every competition, so it's really exciting to watch her. She is incredible.
Amber Lowe now for the Mountaineers.
Opens up with a double back.
That was great.
Very solid on that landing. Yeah, Coach Butts was saying that she can do about every skill in the book from her elite years, but has really focused on getting those level 10 skills consistent and has been focusing over quality over quantity.
That was a great second pass. Very controlled.
Just one pass left. Amber Lowe will end with a double pike. Pretty difficult routine.
Great height on that.
And
That was
great
perfect.
landing.
That was amazing. Great job.
That was a fantastic routine.
Amber Lowe in the number 4 spot for the Mountaineers. Sooner scores building On the beam, Davis 9925, 9875 for Wells, 995 for Bowers, and Faith Torres just recording a 9975. Here's Kat Lavasser.
Kat is so fun to watch. She has such beautiful lines.
Yeah, her lines are so beautiful. It's hard to find a deduction with
really
any
is.
skill that she does. I love the rhythm that she carries through the routine. Beautiful back handspring layout. Looking very confident.
Beautiful leaps.
Switch leap to a straddle quarter. I don't know. I see it in her eyes right now. She's looking
confident.
very confident. Hat leap to a front aerial. Showing off her flexibility on that in her lines. What do you think is going on through Kat's head right now, Maggie?
Just focusing on her dismount, staying confident, and doing what she does every day in the gym.
Ends with a back handspring, gainer full, and gets another
Amazing.
stick.
Let's see what the judges do with that. That was incredible.
Wow. And the momentum has been building and building, so they're bound to give a 10 tonight. Come on.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Will it happen here?
On that.
Julia Brown for West Virginia. There's so much made here, Maggie, of Oklahoma. Back-to-back champions. They have the top 5 scores so far this season. And what's the motivation? How do you continue? KJ Kindler says there's always motivation.
Yes.
How do you continue to find it when you're operating at such a high level as this team has been?
Just improving every single week and trying to get better from the last competition. So that's their motivation. And obviously that big goal at the end of the season to take that home, the championship. But every single week they're motivated to get better than they were the last week.
High score for the Mountaineers so far on floor exercise is Amber Lowe's 985.
Wow, that was amazing.
Beautiful.
Great height on that layout.
Yes, beautiful, Rudy, to a layout step out. I love that skill. So seeing it already 3 times in their lineup is a treat.
Julia Brown, former walk-on. She's just been a sponge, says head coach Jason Butts.
Front double full, that is an E pass. So to do in her second pass is very impressive.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Well, let's take you back to last week at the Metroplex Challenge and Oklahoma's Reagan Smith on balance beam. We have Maggie Nichols, who had 7 perfect 10s on beam in her Sooner career. Reagan Smith has 6 coming into the night. Things are building right now, Maggie. Do you feel it? Do you feel the potential? We might see it.
Oh, yeah. The momentum is totally there, and she is so capable of getting a 10. She just needs to go out what she does every single day, and she'll get that 10. Let's see what she does here. Excited.
Agreed. If anyone is capable, it's Reagan. Talking about rhythm earlier, Reagan has such great rhythm as well. Nailed that opening series. Doing her beam routine to Taylor Swift. Has a Taylor Swift floor routine, which you'll see later. Great front aerial. No deduction so far, at least from me.
How about you, Mag?
Beautiful leaps. I don't have a deduction either. It's been so great so far.
Her unique series right there. Straddle half to a swing down. Very difficult full turn, but nailed it. All she has left is her dismount, and I know she's wanting to get that stick. She just has to do what she does every day. And she does.
That was great.
If that's not a 10, I don't know what is. Come on, judges.
That was a great beam rotation all around. So consistent, so confident.
That was probably the best that I've seen from the Sooners so far this year on that event.
Agreed.
Is it time for a 10?
We think so up here. That was so great.
Yeah. Will she tie your record on beam?
I think so.
The judges will have the final say. And here is
C1.
Okay.
I think. And she
There
did
it is.
Yay. That's so great.
So exciting.
So deserving.
2 10s back-to-back weeks. Wow, Reagan Smith.
Now you had 7. Did you do back-to-back weeks with 10s, Maggie?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
And the crowd becoming aware
Oh, wow.
of the perfection from Reagan Smith tonight.
Crowd is going crazy, and I want to go back to the floor for a second. Abby Pearson started off with a huge double layout.
Great lead pass.
So solid for the Mountaineers on this event. Just her last pass now. Had a little bit of a balk on that step right there, but was able to figure it out. Did a front through to a round up back handspring double back.
Great power.
Really great power.
Great
And
routine.
a great routine.
Well, we saw the 10, and we see Reagan Smith's reaction.
So happy for her. So deserving.
So deserving. And what a great rotation. And it's so good to see this team, gain more confidence on this event. And hopefully they can carry it on throughout the rest of the season.
Reagan Smith celebrating with her team.
She is fired up.
Exhibition time now, as the Sooners will see Malin Sullivan on the beam.
She is gorgeous to watch on this event.
She has some unique skills, which is really fun to watch. Solid series. That was beautiful. That skill is so unique. You don't see that very often, so it's so fun to watch.
You don't. And when she does it, the crowd reacts. I don't know if they think it's intentional, but it is.
Just her dismount left. That was
Gainer
great.
front
That was
full.
amazing.
Wow. From the lineup to the exhibition, Oklahoma was lights out on beam. Wow.
In fact, it was a new season high total for the Sooners on beam. 49-8 their score. Backed by the 10 from Reagan Smith. With Maggie Nichols in attendance and watching it, she achieves her 7th beam perfect 10, matching Maggie's total when she was a Sooner.
You were her good luck charm.
Finally got the judges to do that tonight. I think we've seen some excellent routines, but that's the first 10. And the Mountaineers now in exhibition. Bryn Frayling on the floor exercise. Back in the book, Unstoppable, you can find certainly in bookstores. Where all can people get themselves a copy or download?
Yes, on Amazon, you can order it or download, and then also macmillan.com.
Macmillan and Amazon. Pick it up in your local bookstore. Barnes & Nobles tends to sell quite a few.
Yes.
And she's been autographing copies tonight and just Great to have you back in the building.
It's great to be back. Love it here.
I actually just finished Maggie's book, and I was surprised at some things that were in there that I just didn't know about Maggie. So it was really cool to learn those things and, talk about that with her. So I definitely encourage everyone to go get her book and read it. I listened to it because she actually reads it herself on the audio version. So I recommend that version, but definitely go and check it out.
Thanks, Natalie.
Get them both. Get the printed copy and the audio books. Coach KJ Kendler talking about it this week, and the support of your teammates, past, present, and future, I'm sure has been fantastic through this process as well.
Absolutely. They've been so supportive, and they're with me every single step of the way, and I appreciate them so much.
Bren Freeling's exhibition wrapping things up for rotation number 3. Oklahoma seeing perfection from Reagan Smith on the beam and a season high total. Let's look back one more time and let Maggie take us through this one. Reagan Smith, perfection on the beam tonight.
So here is her series, perfectly solid, straight knees, no deduction. Then I think this is her dismount here. She gets great height, which is so unique and so beautiful to watch. Absolutely perfect. So happy for her. The
Great
excitement,
routine.
I love it.
And a big hug from head coach KJ Kendler. Maggie, thanks so much. It was great to have you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
The
Maggie.
book is Unstoppable. Maggie Nichols certainly is that. Back to the Lloyd Noble Center in just a moment. And Michigan right in there. Then Texas Women's University, Penn, and Clemson March the 3rd. Arkansas, future regular opponent in the SEC for the Sooners as well. It's getting to be that time of the year, and Oklahoma is in peak form with their 4 all-arounders, including our gymnast to watch so far tonight. What do you think of Faith Torres?
She has had a fantastic night, from sticking her vault to a superb bar routine to a near perfect beam routine. She's been great.
Faith Torres tied her career high in the all-around last week. She's only been an all-arounder this season, but 39.650, so we'll keep an eye on what she does. Easily can run past that. She scores a 9.9 in the final event, and she'll have a new career high. Speaking of highs, Oklahoma's performance on the beam, that tied a program record, that 49.8 that they just had on rotation number 3, backed by Reagan Smith's perfection on the balance beam. Away we go with Abby Pearson and her. She's the only all-arounder tonight for the Mountaineers. She's battling a tough task, but so far she's been good as expected for West Virginia.
Yeah, she's been great tonight. Not quite sure if the videos being shown right now are Abby Pearson. I think that was Brooke Albin, but yeah, Abby Pearson has been great. She ended the floor rotation for the Mountaineers and had a fantastic routine. Started off with a double layout, ended with a huge double tuck.
That was Brooke Albin, but the night has been good nonetheless for Abby Pearson, and a lot on Abby Pearson's shoulders, as Jason Butts talked about, because they've had so many injuries and competitors in and out of the lineup. That means the consistency and the necessity to have good routines from Abby Pearson has been there all season. She'll be up second on the beam for the Mountaineers. Miranda Smith in the leadoff spot.
Had a little bobble on her dance right there. Just has to find her footing. Sometimes it's really intimidating to get up on a 3-foot tall, 4-inch wide beam, especially against an opposing crowd. Opened up with a back handspring layout. Beat jump to a pike jump. Loses her balance. Was able to stay on the beam. Solid dismount. Just a little step. Not the best start we want to see from the Mountaineers on the beam, but she fought and kept it together, and it was a good leadoff routine for them.
First up for the Sooners is Audrey Davis on floor exercise.
I love Audrey's floor music and the dance that comes with it. Scored a 9.925 last week. So impressive in a leadoff spot. Opens up with that front double full, an E pass right into her dance. The judges not only take deduction for the skills, the leaps, but they also can take deduction for the level of performance in the floor routine. And Oklahoma really shows out in that way. Just her last pass now, 1.5, front full, nails it. I think we'll see another big opening score for Audrey Davis to start things off on floor for Oklahoma. Great routine for Audrey Davis and for Oklahoma.
She has hit 179 of 180 career routines as a Sooner.
Pretty remarkable. There's that last pass again, that round up 1.5 front full. So beautiful. Great start.
Miranda Smith had a 9.70 for the Mountaineers a moment ago on the beam. And Abby Pearson will be up next.
Abby had a 9.75 last week. The final routine of the night to close out her all-around competition. A little trouble with that full turn. Sometimes that skill just really gets gymnasts. It's a skill that we've done a lot our whole lives. But sometimes we just get in our head about the easiest of skills. Had another bobble before that leap connection, jump connection on her dance. Just not fully comfortable on this beam. Again, it's really hard and difficult to compete in front of an opposing crowd, especially as big as Oklahoma's has become. Great dismount, just a small hop backwards. Overall, a really good routine, just was a little bit hesitant here and there and had those few bobbles, but keeping things going over there for the Mountaineers.
Abby Pearson, as you said, her final routine of the night. Pat on the back from 13th year head coach Jason Butts. Now for the Sooners, Belle Johnson from right here in Norman.
Belle had a 9.85 last week at the Metroplex Challenge. Opens up with a front layout to a Rudy. Very nicely done. Your teammates on the sideline doing her moves with her. Double back to end it. Was a little soft in her arms on that back handspring, but was able to find that block and make do out of it anyways, and had a fantastic routine. Great routine for Belle Johnson.
Belle Johnson did not debut on floor exercise until February 2nd against Arizona State.
There's that opening pass again. And here's that last pass. You can just see her arms sink in just a little bit, but was able to make do of it and had a great finish to that routine.
difficult to break into the floor exercise lineup of the #1 floor exercise team in the country, but that's what Belle Johnson has done this season. Julia Brown now.
Very difficult. And yes, Julia Brown over there on the balance beam opens up with a huge triple series, back handspring, back layout. Switch leap split. Not as 180 degree as I would like to see, but very solid on the landings. Just her dismount, round off double full. Great form in the air, just a slight bop on the dismount landing, but that was a solid routine, and they're gaining some footing over there on the beam.
Belle Johnson's score a moment ago was a 9.925, matching what Audrey Davis did in the leadoff spot. And now will be Reagan Smith.
Reagan had a fantastic routine last week. Scored a 9.95.
Didn't know if we would see her on the floor exercise tonight, but here she is.
Huge double tuck. Doesn't grab her legs. Extremely difficult. Has been working on those landings, and you can tell. One and a half front tuck. That was a mistake for Reagan. Typically, she will do a 1.5 front layout. Was a little under rotated on that 1.5, so made the smart move to do a front tuck. Not quite sure if that will affect her overall start value, but we'll see in the score after the routine. Sometimes when things like that happen, you can get in your head, but right now Reagan just needs to focus on what she's done so much in practice and finish up this routine. Beautiful double pike. Not as solid on that landing as the first pass, but a great finish for that uncharacteristic mistake in the middle of that routine.
Reagan Smith scored a 10 on the balance beam earlier tonight. 7th of her career.
Here's that second pass again. You can see she just was a little bit off on that punch on the floor. There's that last pass. Was able to end that routine very well.
Set for Kiana Lewis. Julia Brown has the high mark so far on the beam for the Mountaineers of 9.775.
Kiana had a little bit of trouble last week on this event, so it'd be nice to see her redeem herself tonight. Split 3/4. Looks pretty confident so far. As a difficult series, front toss, just a little bit off. Might back up and try the skill again to get her bonus. And she does. Doesn't quite make the connection. She's just going to move on from it.
Just tough.
It's hard to see. And the more skills you do, the more energy you exert, and the routine just becomes harder. So she's just doing her best. Right now, she just needs to finish her routine the best she can. You can tell she's just a little bit tired. A good finish for her. Again, it's not what you want to see, but it does happen.
The gymnast that Jason Butt says has really taken it upon herself to talk to a lot of the younger athletes on this team and be a mentor to them. Back to the Sooners on floor exercise. Reagan Smith had a 9.8, and here's Kat Lavasser. I
love watching Kat on this event. something new for this season. Opens up with a very difficult skill. A full in. And she does it so well. That was excellent. The beauty and the grace that she has, not everyone has. And so it's really interesting to, see what each gymnast brings. And for her, that is definitely it. Gorgeous leaps. Just her last pass now. She does a 3 combination last pass. Does a 1.5 to a front half straddle jump. There's no deduction for me for this routine, and it's hard to take from her because her lines are just so exquisite. Solid routine for Kat Levasseur on the floor to keep things going for Oklahoma.
Kat Levasseur wrapping up her performance in the all-around as well with this routine.
Beautiful opening full in, gets that landing, and then that last pass, legs are glued together. Straddle is perfect, 180. Great routine for her. KJ's happy with that.
Still waiting on Kiana Lewis's score of a moment ago. She had a fall on the beam. Emma Wary will be up next. Oklahoma having a big night once again. Sooners have 4 of the top 5 scores in the nation this season. They have tied a program record on the balance beam in this event. We'll see. They may be up there approaching that season high score once again. Oklahoma's high for the season is a 198.450. We'll see where they get with 3 more routines to go. Here's Wary.
Back handspring layout. Steps out of it pretty fast. Very unique skill right there. Round off without hands. So a side aerial to 2 feet. The difficulty of this routine is huge. Just her dismount. Front gainer full off the beam. That was an excellent routine. Just a little bit off on that opening series, but didn't drop her chest or anything. Here's that unique skill again. Side aerial without hands. And then there's that dismount, perfectly stepped.
Emma Wary won a vault individual event title against Kent State earlier this year. We're over to Faith Torres, already going on the floor exercise.
Faith had a huge score last week, 995, and she is just amazing to watch on this event. Opens up with a huge double layout. Wow, that was great. She's so fun to watch on this event, too. Beautiful leaps. Just her last pass now. Does a front through to a double back. Let's see what she does with the landing. Great landing. Almost moves her foot in the front, or her front foot, but doesn't. Great routine for her. So much power. Beautiful dance. Interacting with the crowd, and another great routine for Oklahoma. There's that last pass again. Holds that landing.
Career high is a 9.95. Might see it there. It would better the 9.925s that we have seen from Davis and Lavasser. And we are back to the beam and Amber Lowe.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if the judges would give a 10 this early in the lineup.
Lowe, the final regular competitor for the Mountaineers tonight. Anna Lee is scheduled for an exhibition on the beam following this.
Beautiful skill right there. A handspring layout, little bobble. Feet jump to a split 3/4. Just her dismount now. Round off 1.5. Almost gets the stick. Has to take a small hop forward. Good routine for her to keep things moving over there on beam.
Final competitor for the Mountaineers in their regular lineup. Faith Torres just did tie her career high on floor exercise with a 9.95. And the final regular competitor for the Sooners, the 5th-ranked gymnast on the floor exercise nationally, is Jordan Bowers.
Jordan is so captivating on this event. Has extreme difficulty on this routine as well. Scored a 9.95 last week. Opens up with a front double fold to a punch front tuck. Very nicely done. Last pass now, double pike, huge double pike, gets so much height in the air. You can see Coach Kindler watching her routine in awe. Such a beautiful routine. We'll see what the judges do with that. I don't know. It's pretty good.
Jordan Bowers has been awarded a 10 in her career on floor exercise. She is one perfect 10 away from the gym slam. She would need one on the beam at some point in her career, and you feel like that will happen.
Here's that first pass again. Beautiful double full punch front. Makes everything look so easy. Again, great height in the air on that last pass. Moves her foot a little fast for me, so I would take a little bit of deduction there, but that was a great rotation. A great 2 rotations for Oklahoma back-to-back.
By the way, Faith Torres has achieved a new career high in the all-around. Her previous career high was set last week, so she continues to build. Jordan Bowers leads the all-around. This is exhibition time.
Anna Lee. Great to see her back out there.
Quickly awarded Jordan Bowers score 9.975, which is going to win her both the all-around and the individual event title on the floor exercise tonight.
cat leap, switch half to a beat jump. Looking pretty solid in her exhibition. This is great for this West Virginia team to have her back on this event. You can tell they're so excited for her.
As we said, injured last year in the Big 12 Championships, which was hosted by the Mountaineers. Final competitor there. You got to see Annalee exhibition twice, the junior from St. Michael, Minnesota. Soraya Hawthorne ready for the Sooners. An exhibition for her. The Georgia transfer on floor exercise. She had a great vault exhibition to start the night.
She really did. And I don't know, the judges didn't give her what everyone thought she deserved, which was a 10.
You know, you said it. It's an exhibition. Maybe if it's in the regular lineup, if it's like the number 6 spot in the lineup, it might have been a 10.
Maybe. You just never know. And sometimes you can't control what the judges do. There's her opening pass. Huge double pike. Has so much power. It's great to see the depth that both of these teams have and are working on to have later on in the postseason. Was a little bit off on those leaps right there. Again, this score won't count towards Oklahoma's final score, which is already in, and it's huge. She is so fun to watch on this event. I know she is right there in the mix of things to get in this lineup. Huge last pass right there, and a great finish for her, and a great way to end things tonight.
Soraya Hawthorne exhibition there on the floor exercise. Oklahoma 198.675. It is the highest score in the country this season, and it's a new program record. So Oklahoma breaks its own program mark tonight. What an event it was. And the crazy thing is, you still feel like there could be more for this team.
Oh my gosh, yes, there can be. And especially with the scores and those you just can't control. But I saw some routines that might have needed a score that was higher than what was given. And I saw some landings that were missed that they definitely can dial in for future meets this year. And I don't know, Oklahoma might be breaking their own record again later this season. I'm
looking, Natalie, it is a full 1/10 of a point better. Their previous high was against West Virginia last season. It was a 198.575, so they bettered that by 1/10 of a point, and they have the highest score in the country. Of course, when you have a 10, as you did from Jordan Bowers tonight, or Reagan Smith tonight on beam, and a performance like this to win the floor exercise for Jordan Bowers, it helps a lot. Jordan Bowers wins the all-around and the floor exercise tonight, and the Sooners set a new program record, a season-high nationally. We'll recap it when we return. Our Taco Mayo final stats here. Taco Mayo, big appetite, bigger savings. Download and save today. It's a high for West Virginia this season. So the Mountaineers had their best performance, and Oklahoma had the best performance by any team in the country this season, Natalie.
Yeah, both teams tonight really, really improved. You know, I'll just start with West Virginia. You know, they had a good start on bars, really picked things up on vault. Floor, best event of the night. Beam didn't have the best night they could, but hopefully next week they will. And then you got Oklahoma. You know, they really put everything together tonight, and there's still more that they could accomplish this season. More landings and hopefully higher scores.
Jordan Bowers wins bars, floor exercise, and the all-around tonight. So she takes home 3 individual event titles. She was spectacular from the get-go.
She was opening up with that vault, and then this beautiful bar routine, really finding every single landing.
Second straight.
landing. And then on beam was exquisite. Getting the stick. And then here's that floor routine again. Beautiful front double full to a front tuck. And her last pass to end her night. Great routine. Great night for Jordan Bowers.
Gymnastics.